we have completed the theory part of it in the yesterday's session, and now we are going to implement this thing in the Python today. So we also took some queries about Python as well in the yesterday's session, and it felt like everyone is at least okay with the installation. There is no doubt regarding that. So is it okay for everyone? Everyone is done with the installation of the Python? I want to hear from you people. Yes, anyone, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if anyone is facing the doubt regarding the installation, I am here. I will help him in the beginning. Then after we will start the things, so nobody should left behind or lag behind. So you are some of the people among you in the yesterday's session were interested to implement the things that we have discussed yesterday, and they want to get the practical feel of the subject, and this will be our main aim of the topic today. So let us begin. We have talked about the linear regression yesterday and some basics of the curve fitting, and as how we are going to fit a line onto the data points and how we are going to predict by using some of the clustering algorithms as well. We have discussed that also. So to use the Python, we should, I have told you yesterday that whenever you are going to use the Python, when to use the Python. See now, if you have a very small data set, you can draw the graph by your own by using a notebook and pen, and you can make the analysis from it. This is the one way. But when you have a huge data set, how to do it? We are bound to use some of the tools, and the tools available, one of the tools available is the Python or R language or anything, whatever you want to use for this data analysis and predictions. So you can use that. Hello, is it audible?
Yes, you are audible. Continue.
Okay. So to use that Python, we should know beforehand what we want to do. When our aim is clear and we are clear at our goal as what we want to do with the data set, we can easily use Python, and we can effectively use the libraries. We do not need to install each and every library of the in the Python and got a huge storage to be occupied. We want to only install those libraries that we are going to use. That will only be clear when you are clear at your goal, when you know what to do what to do and what to do with the data, what kind of data you have and what you want to do with that. So see now, we have a data set and we want to plot the same on the coordinate axis and infer some of the wonderful conclusions from that. So to draw the conclusions, you need an expertise in that field. As Shubir sir has yesterday talked about that, if you are working on the health data, you need an health expert at the end to infer some of the conclusions from that. So at first, we know that we have to take the data and plot the things and so on, like what we have done in the regression yesterday. We have I have that paint here. I will show you. So what we have done, wait, I will share the screen for a moment. So I think screen is visible to everyone, isn't it?
No, sir.
It's visible to me.
Okay, is it visible
Now it is okay.
Yes, now it's visible.
Okay. So this was the yesterday's some rough work that we have done in the paint. So so now what basically we have done is we took the data on the and plotted on the x-axis and y-axis, and then we fit a line on that. So we know that we will have a data. At the first thing, we know we have a data, and that data will be in the form of a table. Like we have a CSV file, we have an Excel file of that, and we want to implement that data in the Python. So first thing. So one thing, and second thing, we want to plot the graphics for that data. We want to fit the curve. We want line fitting in that data. So these things I have to do. So I am clear now that I have a data set in the form of a table, and I want to plot that points on the coordinate axis, and I want to fit a curve. And finally, I want to take the results out from that. Is it okay? So to take the data, it is a lot of programming. Suppose you want to do it in a C programming language or any other programming language, you have to make a hectic programming or a very.
I'll give you diary. What you have done to the diary, have you seen? Where is the cover of diary?
Yes, any doubt? Okay, so we have to do a lot of programming if we take an language like C or C++, but we have a Python. That means everything is being done for us, and we just need to import the libraries. So what libraries are useful for us? So now we know two things. One thing, that is we need to plot the data from what we call as we have a data in the form of a table, and for that we have a library at our platform, that is the pandas library. So from the pandas you can easily manipulate the data, you can modify the data, you can take the data, read the data from the CSV file, read the data from Excel file. So you don't have to write the program, you have to just import the pandas library. As Amit sir or Gagandeep sir would have discussed these things in the basics of the Python, but still I am recalling you the same, that you have to simply use the pandas for that. So you must be clear at the first point that you need the pandas library whenever you want to manipulate the data. That data should be in the form of the tables. So now I have also told you one thing yesterday, that if you have a data in the form of big matrices, which library you want to use? Please, anyone? What is the library that you want to use if you have a data in the form of a large matrices?
आपने ये ना मेल आईडी मुझे भेजा है, टेक्स्ट किया है, नहीं ग्रुप नहीं है, जरा ऐसे ही मुझे बताओ मेल आईडी अपना.
Yes, anyone?
Actually,
Anyone from the
Pandas?
participant side? Yes, pandas is for the Excel file. You want to read the Excel file, you have a data in the form of the tables. Now, my question is that if you have the data in the form of a large matrices, you have a form, you have data in the big matrices. Suppose it contains thousands of columns and thousands
NumPy.
Yes, that is it. So you have NumPy then. Yes, great. So you have to use NumPy for that. So you should be, first of all, before using the Python, you should be clear at which library is used for which purpose. You do not need to install, you do not need to every time you will write pip install NumPy, pip install panda. You do not need to write it or install all the libraries in your Python IDE. So you have to use only that which you want to use, and that will only be clear when you know what data you have and what you want to do. So now it is clear now, because I have a data in the form of a table, so I will use pandas, first thing. And second thing, I have to plot that data on the coordinate axis, x-axis and y-axis. So which library to use for that? Either I have to write the whole code for it, I have to write a large code or hundreds of lines of code for plotting the data, or I have to use the library. So simple shortcut is to use the library. When someone has done this work for us, why will not we use? We will save our time and use the library. Which library it is? Yes, anyone?
Seaborn or Matplotlib?
Yes, great. So you have a Matplotlib, and in that Matplotlib you have a sub library called as PyPlot, and you can use that library, import that library, and from that give it as a name. Like when we import the pandas, we write import pandas as PD. We give it as a name PD, so that in the later lines of code we use the PD in not the pandas every time. So now we are sure that we have to use the two libraries. That one is the pandas and second is the matplotlib. From this we will be able to read the data from the CSV file, first thing, and we will be able to plot the plot the graphs between on the coordinate axis. So we take the list. First of all, what will be the agenda of the today's lab? We will do it. So now we are clear. We have to use the pandas. We have to use the matplotlib. Now, first of all, we will take the data in the form of a list, any arbitrary list we will take. We will take some x, y, and z variable. You know how to generate the list in the Python. Then we will make a graph out of it. And in the second case, we will make some handwritten CSV file, or we will make an Excel table by our own and start plotting from that. And finally, in the third phase, we will take a real-time data set. I have downloaded the COVID data set of all the states in the India. We will take that data and start analyzing that data, that which state is lagging, which state is leading the COVID cases, or whatever the information will be provided on the data set, we will see that. So this will be the agenda. This is very simple. It will take us only half an hour or hardly 45 minutes to do all the things. So I hope you all will be attentive in this and you all will learn. These are the basics. When you will be clear at the basics, I guarantee you that you can learn the Python in an advanced mode also. So I think everyone is done with the installation of the Python. Now, first of all, I will start the Anaconda Navigator. So everyone has it? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can use any of the ID here like Spider, Orange 3, Jupyter. Someone was asking in the yesterday's session, sir, what is the difference between these IDs, like when to use the R and when to use the Python. So Python is a generalistic language. You can, for anything, you can do it in Python, but RCTD is basically meant for the mathematical kind of things. And yesterday I have talked about it. So now let us suppose, I think everyone is okay with the JupyterLab. So shall we launch it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have launched the I suggest to you people to please do the same on your own systems as well. So let us make our own folder on the desktop first, and let us call it by some name. I will take a new folder and let us call it as name by session. And now I am again going to this Jupyter notebook, and from there I will go here to the desktop and I will search for the session. Let us refresh it. Desktop. Oh, sorry. Again, refresh it. So this is session. Let us close this. So let us open the Python 3. And this is our code line. So what is the first thing that we want to do? We want to, first of all, let us rename it and name it as lab session. So now, first of thing that we have to do is we have to import the library that is called as Panda, isn't it? So let us do it. I will write import pandas as PD. So you understand this line of code? This is simply you have to import a library called the pandas, and that will be useful only because to read your CSV file, to read your Excel file, and to manipulate the data later on. And I have called it by some name PD. Why PD? Because in the later lines of code, I will use simply PD. I will call the library, any function of the library as by the name PD, isn't it? So second thing that I have to do is I have to import the library pyplot, but that pyplot is a sublibrary of the matplotlib. So I will write from matplotlib. I'm getting some noise from your side, please. Import.
Sir, the screen is not visible.
It is not visible.
No, visible, sir.
It is visible to me, sir.
So I think it is probably
Visible, sir.
Please check it out. Okay. So from matplotlib, import pyplot, and let us name it as PLT. This is by convention. You can name it anything, but later on we come to know by the convention that PLT, PD, these are the conventional names, so we remember it more often. So this is for making the charts and other things. So what was the agenda first? That we will generate a list. We will generate an arbitrary list by manually typing. Let us suppose I take X is equal to something. Let us see first if it runs. Okay, so now let us take some X is equal to, and list, for the list I have to use the square braces, and I will write 1, 6, 9. This is the first. Then I will take Y equals to something like let us suppose 2, 7, 4, isn't it? So you have X coordinates, you have a list X, you have a list Y, and you have the coordinate points of X, you have the coordinate points of Y. Let us take another one. Z is equal to something like, I take 7, 11, and 4. If you feel any doubt in between, you can ask me. So now I want to plot the things between. So let us suppose I want to plot the graph between. You have three data points. One is 1, 6, and 9 for X, and for Y you have 2, 7, and 4, and for Z you have 7, 11, and 4. So this is comma here. Now, if I want to plot between X and Y, I will simply write. See now, plot function is basically present in which library? Matplotlib as an pyplot sublibrary. So you have to only use PLT. Whenever you will use PLT, it will import the things from the Matplotlib. And Python is like English like language. So if you want to plot between X and Y, you have to simply write plot XY. And if you want to plot between Y and Z, you can simply write plot Y and Z. So like this. First of all, you will write PLT. So why you write this PLT? Because this from here you can see it. To use any of the functions from the library matplotlib, you have to use the name PLT. Is it okay? So now if you want to plot between X and Y, you can simply write PLT.plot, PLT.plot, and that is between X, comma Y. Is it also you want to, let us suppose, plot second line on the same graph, you will write plot. Plot is a function to call some PLT is a function to call function nickname, you can say X, comma Y, let us suppose. Then you want to show this plot, we will write PLT dot simply show. Show function will not take any argument, it will simply show your graph on the screen, wasn't it? So if I will run this, you have two graphs. One is this blue colored line, and one is this what we call as this orange colored line. So now let us see if we want to name this to look more beautiful. So because whenever you will get some good handles on this plotting the things, you can easily manipulate the graphs or big data sets later on. So now if I want to write that, let us suppose I want to name this graph, you can simply write PLT, because everything is in the PLT of this, everything is in the library matplotlib. So you will simply write PLT dot title. Title is for the name of the graph, and you can simply write it in the, because it is a string, and you will write it in the double quotes, and let us suppose we call it as a name graph. Then let us suppose you don't know what line is this blue line and what is this orange line for which data set. Is the blue line between X and Y or between X and Z? Is that there is an ambiguity? So to remove this ambiguity also, you can simply label, you can simply take the legends. You can make the legends, suppose PLT dot, I can write PLT dot legends. PLT dot legend. And then I will write this square brackets. So for the first one, I will write first graph. So let us suppose first one is named as first graph. Okay, first graph, and second one is named as second graph. So now you want to title this. You want to make name this x-axis, and you want to name this y-axis. For that, we write PLT dot PLT dot x table. Please note down these all the functions will be useful for you later on. X, and for labeling the y, you will simply write PLT dot y label. Right, let us suppose y. Got it? So if I will run this code now, piece of code. Okay, I have put double dot here. PLT title, I have put double dot. There is error. There is only one dot here. I run it. So here we have take the data points in the form of a list, and we have make a list manually or by using the Python functionality. Now in the second case, are you clear with it? Yes, anyone please?
Excuse me, sir. There is noise occurred.
Yes, what?
There is noise occurred.
Now, how did sir PLT define?
Okay, the question is how we will define this PLT, isn't it? So you can
Yes, sir.
write, you can write anything. You can write any. PLT is just a nickname given to the that we are going to. Whenever I write the PLT in the code, that means the compiler will
It is
understand
just the
that.
naming convention we
Yes,
use
yes,
this PLT.
yes. It is just a naming
Okay,
convention
okay.
that I want to use the function, and that function should be from the library that is nicknamed as PLT. So what is nicknamed as PLT? We have nicknamed it pyplot. That is a sub library of the matplotlib, and so I want to use that function. So plot function, title function, x table, y label, anything what I have written here, show function, everything is stored in the matplotlib. Matplotlib is sub library pyplot. So this is a convention to name it as a PLT. So I write here PLT. Sometimes you can try it at your own, that you can name it as suppose AB, and then you have to write AB.show, because the compiler will understand that show function is present in the library that is nicknamed as AB. Got it? I hope you understand it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So someone was asking that there is a noise. Is it clear now?
Yeah, is it clear right now?
Okay, thank you. So let us take, we have taken the example of a list that we have made by ourselves, and now let us make a data set by our own. And third thing, we will work on the real-time data set. So let us, we have a folder that is session. Everything what I am doing right now is stored in this session. Like you will see this file lab session.ipnb. So it is saved, whatever I will write here, whatever code I will write it, that will be automatically saved in this folder. So if I want to, let us suppose, if I want to deliver, or suppose I want to use the table data, or suppose I want to use any CSV file, whatever I want to use, I have to put or store it here only in this folder. So let us make make our own data set first. Suppose I will open this Office. Let us file and new file and spreadsheet. Someone will be using the Microsoft Excel. You can also use it. So let us first of all name the column first as C1, and then C2, and then 3 columns we will take. This is C3. So let us suppose this is 1, this is 5, any arbitrary things I will take. This is 6, this is 4, this is 7, this is 9, this is 2, 11, anything. So let us save this file. We have 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, is it clear? So let us save it as, let us save as, I will write it, I will write this name as data, suppose data. So now let us save it as a CSV file, text.csv, and I will save it in this folder only where I am working. So I am working on the session folder. So that is here. I will save it. Use text CSV format and work for this. So now let us see if our data is present here. So this is our data CSV file. Are you getting? Are you getting? This is our data file that we have made in the Office. So now let us read this file first. Let us read this file first in the Python platform. So I will simply write data equal to. Now I have to, for reading the data, which library you have to use? You have to use pandas library, and I have nicknamed the pandas library as PD. So I will simply write PD dot, I have to read. There is a function read underscore, whatever format of your file will be, let it be CSV, Excel, you will write it here, read underscore CSV, and then the name of your file. It will automatically go into the folder while your work is being stored, and catch up that file, whatever you name in between these single quotes, it will catch up that file. So what is the name of that file? We have named it as data.csv, isn't it? So let us run it. Okay. If you want to show here, show this file here, if you want to show this data here, you have to simply write data. Now, because you are in the pandas, it has simplified our work more. Like in the plot, we use plot.show. There is a show function, and here in the pandas, you have to simply write data, and everything will come. So we will run it like this. This is our data that we have made. This is the column C1, this is column C2, and this is column C3. So I think it is clear now. Okay. So let us suppose I want to check the what is the type of the data. See now, we have talked about the pandas yesterday. That in pandas, our Amit sir or Ravindra sir would have talked about this. That in the pandas, our data is stored in the form of the data structures, and this table is stored in the form of a data structure that pandas generate automatically, and that data structure is called as a data frame. And if you have to suppose store the list of numbers, it is formatted in the data structure, and that data structure is named as series. Like we have in the data structure, we have the linked list, we have the stacks, we have the queues. Simply in the pandas, we have a data structure called as a series, and everything that goes by the list or the column or the row is stored as series, and this tabular data is stored in the form of a data structure that is called as a data frame. So if you want to check it out, let us suppose I will write type of data. What is the type of our file? So this is pandas.code.frame.data frame. So it is stored in the form of a data structure that is called as a data. So now if you, is it okay now? Is it okay? Are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us suppose you have these columns. So suppose, see now, we are working on a small data set that we make our own. Let us get a feel of it that today or tomorrow you will have a data set of 500 columns and 5,000 rows. You will get a huge data, how to analyze it. So you have to use the Python. Then you will get the hands on how to manipulate this number of rows, first row, second column, third row, third column. When you will get to know these things, you can easily get your hands strong on the large data sets later on. So you can easily manipulate these. So you will start with this, you will try it at your home, you will try it on your own systems, and then you can make a big data set manually and you can work on that. And regarding this programming, it is not very much difficult. It is simple English like language, and how much you practice, more you will get into it. So let us suppose now I want to do that. I want to check the data of this column one first only. So suppose you have a later on, you have the housing plan in different countries. Suppose C1 is a country named India, C2 is a country named Russia, C3 is a country named Bangladesh or somewhere. So if you want to get the data of only this column one, that is the India, you want to see only the housing plan of India, and you want only Bangladesh. That means you want the data to be plotted between C1 and C3 only. So C2 is to be neglected. So how to do this? So here, if I write simply data.c1, that means it will show the data is our data frame, that is a data structure, this tabular data, and I want the compiler to show only the column first, that is the column first data only. So if I will run this, it will only show the column first, that is 1, 6 and 9. Got it. So now let us suppose this 1, 6 and 9, it is a series. So I have told you before a moment that this series of numbers is stored in the form of a structure called the series. So if I will check the data type of this, I can write simply data.c1. So if I run this piece of code, it comes out pandas.code.series. So for you, it will define your series of numbers in the form of a data structure that is called as a series. So now see another thing. Let us suppose this false that when we want to only check the data in a particular column, or suppose in the column C1, in the column C2, or in the column C3. Now sometimes what you want, that you want only the first, let us suppose this is the year 012, this is the year 1990, 1995, 2000, some anything. So in this is the price of the land which we were discussing yesterday. Let us suppose C1 is the country name India, and 169 is the price of the land in the different years. So let us suppose you want your Python, or you want your data that you want the compiler to show only the record of the land in the first year only. Suppose in 1995, that is the cost of the land here is 1 in India. So you can write simply. For that, you have to use a command that is called as iloc. So how to use that iloc, I will show you. You will write simply data dot which column you want to use or which country. Let us suppose column number 1. So I will write C1 dot simply iloc, and this iloc will iloc and then square brackets, and in the square brackets you want to show which entry, first entry, second entry, third entry, but you have to take the entry less than the actual entry. For example, you want your compiler to show the second entry, you have to write 1 in the square braces. So you want to show this first entry only, that means this number 1 that is below the column number C1. So you have to write here 1 less, that is 0. So if I will run this, I should get what? 1. So this is 1. So simply, if I want this 7 to be generated, that means if I want what is the price of the land in, suppose third country is Bangladesh, what is the price of the land in Bangladesh in the year 2000? This is 1995, this is 2000, this is 2005, let us suppose. So what is the price of the land in 2005 in Bangladesh? So that is means in the second data point. So I will write in the form of a command that is data dot which country, C3 country, that means Bangladesh. So C3 dot, I will write iloc, and I will simply write here which data point, second data point. I want second data point, so I will write here 1 less, that is 1. So I will run this and I will get 7. So this is the 7. Are you getting my point? So is it clear up to here? Please tell me, is it clear up to here? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us move on to another thing. That means, let us suppose you have column number C1, you have column C2, you have column C3, you have different columns in your data set, and suppose you want to plot between, suppose this is the price of the land in the India, and C3 is the price of the land in what we call as Bangladesh. So you want to plot between the prices of the lands in India and Bangladesh, and you want to compare it, or you want to plot it. So for comparison, before making an actual comparison, you want to, what we call as, you want to plot it. You have to plot it. So you want to plot between C1 and C3. So if I write like this, so for plot function, I have to use the matplotlib. So I will write plt, simply dot plot function. And then in the plot function, you will write simply, you have to plot the data between data dot C1 and data dot C3. So you have to plot between C1 and C3, and then you have to show this plot. So I will write, to show this plot, I will write plt dot show. Let us run this. So I will get this. This is the price of the land between C1 and C3. Are you getting my point? So this is the one data set is 169 and 7 is 7711. This is the data set between this and this. So on the one side you will write India, and on the other side you can write the Bangladesh or whatever you want. So sometimes you want to show your data in the form of points or in the form of dots. So you can use that also. We will look into further into that, or I will show you simple, and you can change it later on at your home also. I will write plt.plot data between C1 and data between C3, data dot C3. Sometimes you don't want a line graph to be shown, you want a point graph. So you can simply write comma, and then you can write O, and then you will write plt dot show. Okay. So this is the point data, 1, 2, 3, 3 points of data we have. So got it? So I think it is clear up to here. Or now you can see the Python libraries on the internet also, and you can check there how to use the this bar graph, how to use the line graph, how to use the other graphs as well, histogram, how to use the histogram, how to use the dot graphs, and simply you have to put that code name here. You have to put like I have put here 0. You can put that code name here. What is for the histogram, what is for the bar graph, and so on and so forth. So it was all about this plotting the data in the what we call as a manual data set. Now we are going to take the real data set. So is it clear up to here? So if it is clear, then I will move on to the analysis of a real data set by using this Python. So is it, if it is clear, you can.
Yes, till now it's okay, sir. It's
It is
clear,
okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. So now let us take a real data set. I have already downloaded a file. When we will complete this session, you can at your home, please do it. Do it, please. Honestly, do it. You can download a file from the internet, like it may be a social media network data, it can be a COVID data, or it can be anything data you want. Save it on your Excel file, or save it as a CSV file, whatever the format present will be. Import the pandas, import the matplotlib, and try to analyze that data. Then you will get a simple handles on it. You can easily understand the code of big data sets also. So let us suppose I have downloaded the COVID data set here. This is the COVID data set of the states, and I have named it as COVID DST. To make it simple for you, I am going to copy it, and where I have saved my work in the session, and I will
Sir,
paste it here.
Sir, if you can share the link from where you have downloaded. Actually,
Yes.
some of us
See.
are doing along with you. So if
Yes,
we can download the data set, it will be helpful for us.
Yes, see, there are a lot of data sets available on the internet. I will share later on. I will mail you the sites of that also. But these are like we have the COVID data set of India. But it is not that you have a big data. And simply put that file, COVID ST file, into your folder. That folder is named as a session folder. So because this pandas library will catch the file easily from that folder, because we are working on that folder only. So now I have put that file into this folder, session folder, like this. Now I want to read it. So how to do that? I have to use pandas for that, because pandas library has already done this thing for me, and I will name this data. So I will name it as data. Then data is equal to pd dot. See, now data, we have already named one of the variables, so let us call it that data1. Otherwise it will show an error. So I will write pd dot, for reading the data set, we have a function called read underscore CSV, because it is in the form of a the format of the file is CSV. So I will write that named as COVID ST dot CSV. I have to put it in the single quotes, otherwise it will show an error. The arguments by the read function are taken like this, COVID ST. So I will run it now. So now tell me, if I want to show the data here, what is the function for that? Please, anyone? Yes, data1. So I will run it, and this is our data. So what is this data about? See, now this is the test is being done at 3 states I have taken, because I have cleaned up that data. It was of all the states of the India. You can download. I will provide you the link. In that link you have the data of all the states. I have taken only the 3 states here to make it simplified for this session only. So the state here is Chandigarh, Jammu Kashmir, and Odisha. So this is the day one, when on the day one the tests were done and this data was recorded. The number of positive cases were 18 in the Chandigarh. On the second day there was no positive case, so the positive remained 18. And in the third day, you have only one positive case in the Chandigarh, and the total count became 19. And in the fourth day there was no positive case, so the data only remained 19. And in the fifth day, or in the fifth testing phase, it has gone up to 21. That means 2 cases have been added to it. So have you understood that data set, what this data set means? So yeah,
it's clear, sir.
okay, so this is in the 6th day, 7th day, 8th testing day, 9th testing day, and 10th there was no positive, so it has remained 21. So in the third column, it is only showing you the total number of positive cases, and in the second column it is showing the day. So let us now perform some analysis of this data. And as said by the Shabir sir, this is the health data, and for the good analysis of it, you will need, at the end, you will need an health expert. But as a layman, we will also infer some of the good results from this data set, what we are going to learn from it. So now let us suppose I want only the data. First, I want to check the only, because it is of the 3 states, Odisha, Jammu Kashmir, Chandigarh. I want only the data of Jammu Kashmir. So I will write data1, as we have done in that arbitrary data set that we have made in the Excel. So I will simply write data1 dot. I have to choose state, state State is what? Jammu and Kashmir. JMMU Jammu and so I will run it. Now see, it will show all the states 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and wherever Jammu Kashmir is not present, it will show false, and wherever Jammu Kashmir is present, it will show true. So this is one of the functions. Now see, in the second function, I want to check the date of that state only. I will make a variable. Let us call that variable as jk. I will write jk is equal to data1, and then square braces, then data1. Sorry. I will write data1 data1 dot state is equal to, and I want the data of Jammu and Kashmir, so I will write Jammu and Kashmir. So let us try to run it. So it okay, it is showing error because I have written this Jammu J as small, it is in the capital form. So I will again copy this. This is square brace here. Close it. This is Jammu and Kashmir. So okay, let us run it. Okay, again this state the S letter of state is capital. Right, capital S. And now it has taken the it has stored. See now by this function what I have done is, so from these two errors you have learned it that you have to take care of the this letters also, because wherever it is capital you have to write the uppercase letter, and wherever it is in the lowercase you have to write it in the lowercase. So you have to take care of these letters also, because it is case sensitive in that case. So I have stored the Jammu and Kashmir data of the Jammu and Kashmir in the variable called as jk. Now let us suppose I will store the data of the Odisha in, let us suppose variable called as OD, suppose. So I will again write data1, and then I will start writing data1 dot state is equal to what? Odisha, ODISHA. So I will run it. Okay. Now we have the data of Odisha, we have the data of Jammu and Kashmir in the two variables JK and OD. So you have to now nothing to do with the data set, complete data set. If you want to make the analysis of the Jammu and Kashmir and Odisha state, you have to now just use the variables JK and OD. So by this you are able to handle the data. So now let us suppose we want to plot the cases of positive cases of Jammu and Kashmir and positive cases of Odisha. So I will use the plot function plt dot plot. Then I will write jk dot jk, which field of the jk, which field of the jk folder, because in the jk you have like this, you have like this. This is Jammu and Kashmir. See now, this is Odisha, and this is the positive cases. So you have two columns, Odisha, day, and then positive number of positive cases. So you have three columns. Now which one do you want to show, which one you want to plot? Just like I have used it in the previous example, I have used data.c1 and comma data.c2. So you want to plot the graph between the column first and column second. So here you want to plot between the variable named jk and which column? Let us suppose I want to plot day with the positive cases. I will write day and comma jk dot positive. So is it named as positive? Otherwise it will show an error. So it is positive, yes. So plt dot positive cases. So let us run it. Okay. So this is the on the day one. On this day one, we have the positive count from 20, 40, 60 up to, and it is going up to the 140. So now let us draw it for the Odisha. Suppose plt dot plot, and then I will write OD dot DA by day, comma OD dot positive. So let us plot it. This is the plot for the what we call as Odisha. So now let us make a comparative analysis now. We will draw a graph between these on a single graph. Let us control again, write this function, and for the OD also. Okay, now I will write plt dot which function? Show function. I will see the graph now. And it is a comparative graph of the two. Now I will name it this graph first so that it will look more beautiful. PLT dot, I will produce some of the legend street, legend, and in that legend it takes argument like this. First argument in the double quotes, let us call it as Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, and let us take another name it as, we'll put it in the double quotes, Odisha. Okay, so this is for the legends. Please note down how to use the arguments for the legend function. Then I will name the plot dot x label. I will label the x, and x coordinate shows as the days. In the single quote, it takes the argument like this, and it shows as the day. And plt dot y label, and it shows as a positive. So I will run it now. Okay, I have to write it again. I have to write it in a single block. And this thing I have to write there. So now I will check the graph again. This is as the number of days increase, these are the positive cases. So what you are going to infer from this, see now, first of all, in the beginning, the cases in the Odisha and Jammu and Kashmir were same, because blue colored line represents the Jammu and Kashmir and orange colored line represents the Odisha. So in the beginning, the cases were same, and as we go on day by day, firstly in the 60th day, that means after 2 months, Jammu Kashmir is leading here, where I am putting my arrow. So Jammu Kashmir is leading up to the 80th day, and now it tries to flatten the curve after the 80th day. And in case of Odisha, it is going like in an exponential manner, because it is showing a graph like this exponential. And in like this, after 120 days, the cases would have been come down, and then it had gone again. So there can be a lot of inferences you can make from this graph. So from this you can do other calculations as well, like suppose you want to make the percentage increase in the number of cases. Suppose you want how many cases have been increased in terms of the percentage. So for that you have to divide the whole data by the first, let us suppose we will take the first data set as the reference value. Then you have to divide it by the first reference value and multiply it by the 100. That is the function. So if I write like this, jk dot positive, that means it will complete, jk dot positive will show a series of all the positive cases that are stored in the variable jk. So I will write jk dot positive, and I will divide it by what, by the first reference value, so that I can check the percentage increase in the values. So I will write jk dot positive. Yes, anyone will now please answer me how to use the only first value. How to use the only first value? What is the command for that? I log. Yes, I log, and then in the square brackets I have to use the first value, that I will write the number less by 1. So I will write 0 here. Is it okay? And then I will multiply by 100. I will multiply by 100. And I will run it. So it is showing that in the day, this first it was 100, because we have taken in the percentage, and in the second day it was 195. That means there was 95% increase in the cases. If we take the reference as the day 1, so there was 95% increase in the number of cases in Jammu and Kashmir. Similarly, you can check for the Odisha as well. So I think it is clear up to here. Everyone, please.
Sir, I'm facing a small problem.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing it along with you, when
Yes.
trying to draw the graph,
Yes.
I have given the labels and the legends and everything.
Yes.
For me, the labels are not printing. It is showing me the title of the graph. It is showing me the legend,
Yes.
but it is not showing me the labels of X and Y
Okay.
axis.
So you have imported the matplotlib?
No, I have done everything.
Okay. So have you written this X label in the same format as I have written here? See, check it now.
PLT.X label within brackets I have given day, and PLT.Y label I have given positive cases.
Okay. Have
It
you
is
put this day and positive in the single quotes?
yeah, it is showing me an error. It says it is giving me an arrow on PLT.X label within brackets day, and it is showing str object is not callable.
Object is not callable. So
Str object is not callable.
so have you have put in the single quotes?
Yes, sir.
So it must be, then you can write anything in the, because in the X label argument you can put any name. Suppose I can change the day by anything. I can write ABCD. In the Y label I can write XYZ. Are you getting my point?
Yes, actually, when you took that dummy example, I did it
Yes.
also, and there it was perfect.
Okay. So
It
have you
showed
have you named this data set as different from that data? In the first dummy
yes,
set I have
yes,
used
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
name data, and in this I have used data one. Have you done the same thing?
Yes, yes, yes. See, it is showing me the graph.
Yes.
The graphs are showing, but the labels are not being displayed. Only the label. It is showing me the legends and everything.
Okay. Okay.
Can I help? Can I get in? Manish,
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Sure, sure.
I have made you a presenter. You can share your screen first so that let us see what maybe the Auqib will find.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Will see where actually is the problem.
Sure,
Yes,
sir,
yes.
sure. Just a moment, sir.
I have made you a presenter. I think I didn't.
Okay, sir. Shall I stop the sharing?
Sir, it says only meeting organizers and presenters can share. It is not allowing me to present.
I just made you a presenter, but I don't know where it has gone. Just a minute. I will make you a presenter as well.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Just a minute. Manish
Mahajan.
Yeah. I made you a present. Once again, I am making you a presenter. Just now try once.
Yes, it is not showing me. I'll just.
You just share your yeah. Auqib, are you? Can you visualize the things where?
No, not right now. I am only able to see my own screen only.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible to me, but it should be visible to Auqib. Is it visible, Auqib?
No, sir.
Sir,
shall I stop the sharing first? Sharing of my screen first?
Yeah. You click on Manish, where you will find Manish Mahajan, Mr. Manish Mahajan. You just click on that. Maybe it may come on your screen. You pin it.
Okay.
Auqib.
Yes, I am doing the same thing, sir.
Yeah. You search for Manish Mahajan and just click on that. Maybe it may get displayed on your screen.
Wait a moment, sir. Where I will get this list of participants, sir?
On the right side.
In the below screen, I am only getting the icons only. But,
the last icon, just before the hang up icon, you have the participants icon.
On the right side, vertical bar is there, right side.
Sir, if you can see the icons below, the last icon is the hang up icon, and just before that is the participants icon.
What I will read out what Mr. Manish sir has written.
The problem is that string is not matching. That's the problem over there. It's
okay, just try it. Anyone is suggesting something, please try it.
Sir, actually,
the strings are not matching. The day, capital letter, and the small letter you have put up over there.
Okay, so Manish sir, please note down what other colleague has.
Yes, please check it out if it works.
Yeah.
I'll just check it out, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you can share, Auqib, share your screen now.
No, sir, it is still giving me the same error.
Same error.
It has he has written plt.plot then braces jk dot day,
Yes, yes,
then comma jk dot positive,
yes.
then on next line plt dot plot,
Okay,
braces start od dot day,
okay.
comma od dot positive.
Yes,
Then on third line plt dot legend,
yes,
curly braces, then scare braces in single quotes J and K,
yes.
comma, single quote start Odisha, single quotes close, then curly scare brackets close,
And
curly brace, then
okay.
plt dot x label day, then
Hmm.
on next line
Day,
plt
day is put in the single quotes.
Yes, sir.
day is
Okay.
put in single quotes. PLT
Okay.
dot y label is in then curly braces, positive cases in single quotes. Then there is PLT dot show, curly braces close, start and close.
So
Sir,
what
it
is
is
the
showing.
error?
Error is showing track back, trace back, most recent call last.
Okay,
Sir, the
Input.
error is str object is not callable.
okay.
Yeah,
STR
STR
object is not
object
followed.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sir.
String positive cases, P should be positive, sir.
Okay, okay, okay.
Try it out. The P.
Pardon, sir?
String Y label string
Yes, sir.
positive cases, P should be positive. P
Positive.
P should be
positive. Sorry, capital letter. P should be capital letter.
P is capital. He has written P is capital.
Because
capital,
in the table it is a capital letter is there in
no,
the
no,
table.
see, in this also I have written capital only.
Oh, this is
Sir?
below your display. No, okay.
Excuse me, sir. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
write there sir, plt dot x label is equal to
Achha,
invited comma day. plt
PLT
dot x label is equal
right
to
is equal to.
day, single quote day.
Okay, I'll remove the parenthesis.
and do this for Y label as well.
Sure, sir, I'm doing it.
Then
check.
plt dot x label is equal to invited comma day.
The error has gone, but unfortunately it is not still showing me the labels. There is no error now.
Why I am not able to show your screen? Please help me out in this.
yeah. Why you are using this on browser or app?
Browser.
Browser.
No, I'm talking to Auqib. Why you are just sort out, just see.
Jahangir sir, Jahangir sir, can you please WhatsApp me this the screenshot of this?
Sure.
I will.
Jahangir sir, can I put the screenshot in the group and you can?
You can put in the group. I will add this Auqib as well in the group.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
I've just shared the screenshot in the WhatsApp group.
First, I have to add Auqib, then you will.
Sure, sir, sure. I'll stop presenting my screen now.
And see, sir, one thing I will suggest you before that I will get the actual problem. So change the name like day. Let it not change it as suppose AB and call positive as CD and check if
Sure,
it works.
sir. Sure.
Yeah.
And
You once again share the screen.
Put it on this curly braces
Yes, sir.
inside the.
No, sir, when I try to put it within the parenthesis,
Okay.
the error has again came. When I use
Sir, can
is
you
equal
write-
to,
Okay.
Sir, can you
Yes,
write?
yes.
What I will do, I will give you a video call on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Sir?
I will share the
Sir,
screen.
First,
on the-
sir, Jahangir sir, first share this only the screenshot of this so that I can get the problem
I
and
have
if it is
shared it.
solvable.
I have added you in the group. You
Okay,
just see that one has suggested him the new label equal to sign, and he has only shared that particular thing.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Can you write there plt.x label and don't write single quote, write double quote.
Okay,
As
let
we
me try
define
that.
as string. Yes.
Let me try that.
Okay.
Yeah. Double quote and same for.
Sometimes there's problem in the
doing that.
Jupyter.
Maybe there may be maybe sometimes system there is
Same error, sir. Same
Sir,
error.
please write with the help of is equal to.
Equal.
plt.x label is equal to.
Okay, I'll use double
is
quotes
equal-
and equal
yes.
to.
Double just is equal to, yes, double quote, only double quote.
Auqib.
The error. See, when I use is equal to, it does not give me any error, but it also does not show me the labels. I'm sharing the screenshot. When I use is equal to, it does not give me any error, but at the same time, it is not showing me the X label and Y label also. I'm sorry to hold up the presentation. I'm really sorry.
No,
But-
this is very
No, everyone is going to learn from this.
Right, sir.
Auqib.
Sir, I suggest one thing now.
Sure, sir.
I think this will work. You can please close your this Jupyter notebook and then restart it again, and then write this code again, and it will surely work.
Sure, sir. Sure, I'll do that. I'll try that. I'm
Yes.
closing
Please
it out
go ahead.
now.
Please try it.
I'll just save it first. Close it. Reopen it. I'll have to run everything again.
Yes.
Just let me run. Run. Run.
Or you have another option there, na? You have in this. I will share it. See. Are you getting my screen?
No, I'm not. No, we are not getting it. Sir, I have restarted it and rerun everything. Unfortunately, still not getting the X label and Y label.
No one is sharing screen. Auqib, you are not also sharing your screen.
Is this
Auqib?
visible now? Is my screen visible?
Yeah, some Microsoft team is coming on. Yeah, now it's
Now the screen is visible.
Yes, you can do one thing. You can also go to this kernel and you can also do this restart kernel and see if it works.
I've done that. I've just done that. I've
Okay.
written everything just as you are doing.
Yes.
But unfortunately, when I do it the way you are doing it, when I put X label and Y label within brackets, without is equal to, it gives me an error.
Okay.
When I use is equal to sign,
Yes.
then it does not give me any error, but it also does not show me the X label and Y label.
No, you write the same code, just I have written, and then restart the kernel and see the result.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Should I put the labels in single quote or double quote?
No, single code, just I have written.
Okay, I'm
Let us
doing
check
it.
for that, and then we will go on to that why it is not working for the double quotes. It should work for the double quotes as well when you will put the is equal to sign.
I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. Okay, I have rewritten the code.
No, no need to write. Just restart this kernel.
I'm just doing it. Kernel restart. Restart. Restart and run all the cells. Yeah, it has come.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So sometimes what happens is, I will let you know about this problem. Sometimes what happens is the name of this string gets into the name of the function by using some of the garbage things. So it gets sometimes you want to name any of the string and it gets into some of the functions. So that is why it comes as an error. So then in this you have to just restart the kernel and it will remove all the garbage values.
Right.
Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so is this lecture clear to everyone, or is there any doubt? You can ask, please. Jahangir sir.